What's up, y'all? It's Mace Blanco on 610 from G's to Millions. I don't need Clout the podcast. Today I got my I don't need Clout the podcast shirt on. I'm going to show y'all. This one got the logo on it, but we got all types of different merch on there. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got hats. Go ahead to I don't need Clout podcast.com. Grab yourself some merch and support the podcast. I appreciate y'all. All right, this is episode 9 already, and every single week, twice a week, we've been dropping episodes. Man, every week it's always some new content. It's always some new clout chasers. It's always some new examples of what not to do. So I'm going to start this out by calling out Doja Cat. I'm going to show y'all these demonic pictures. Doja Cat been on a demonic promotion run, right? It causes a lot of controversy. I get it. I understand why she does it, but I think the Lil Uzi Vert and Playboi Carti and Doja Cat, man, this shit's really played out. It's really a strategy, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they're all on the same label. I gotta pull that shit up to really fact check it, but I'm not surprised that it's the same all throughout Hollywood. It's gonna be the same all throughout record labels and people promoting bullshit. But that's really just the cost of fame, man, and that's what I'm going over today. The truth about Hollywood and the cost of fame. And this is controversial, but fame should not be your goal outcome. I believe that wholeheartedly. Fame should not be your goal outcome. The thing with fame, man, is that you could be hot today and cold tomorrow. Then you got to live in the limelight for a little bit, and then you got to go back down to the bottom. Next thing you know, you're like young jock and you're driving for Uber. And there's one thing that's guaranteed about clout is that one day it will be gone. The only thing guaranteed is that one day you will lose that clout. It's almost like being a professional athlete in a way. Obviously, there's a lot more respect for athletes. I have a lot of personal respect for athletes, but it's the same concept that where you can't be number one forever. You could retire with the belt, but the game moves on. There's a saying, every dog has his day. And that's just the truth. You look at Mike Tyson, one of the most ferocious, craziest, best boxers ever, arguably best boxer ever. And he had his day. Everybody has a day where they take that loss. See, fame is not really a tangible thing. It's really a facade. That's why record labels try to link you up with other people that are famous. They try to put you in the limelight. They try to put you out there so that people get this idea of you that you are famous. They basically force it on you. They force it on the public. It's this crazy idea that the more people that know you, the better your quality of life will be. And that's just not true. It really couldn't be more false. And another one I forgot is like Lil Nas X. He had a hit. Old Town Road was a classic. Adults loved it. Kids loved it. Rap fans loved it. Country fans loved it. Everybody loved it. But then, just like Doja Cat, once he got on, he started pushing this demonic stuff. He started twerking on the devil and all this other bullshit. And what's crazy is that it's the same playbook every single time. Like, bro, we get it. We're sick of this shit. You think these people really feel that way? I don't believe that they feel that way. Maybe a few, maybe a select few, but I feel like the drug clout just gets to people. And once you get that certain level of notoriety and clout, they just start doing demonic shit and promoting the devil to stay relevant, to stay in conversation, whether it's good or it's bad. It's probably going to be bad when you're promoting the devil, realistically, but people are going to talk about it. But the thing about fame, it only equates to money if you're able to leverage your relationships. But these people, in all of those examples, these people sold their soul. And what that means is that they've compromised their morals to obtain a certain level of fame and notoriety. Fame and all these famous people, I guarantee, are some of the most miserable people you will ever come in contact with. Those people that are constantly seeking attention and seeking validation are not in a good headspace. I promise you. There's really a lot of downsides to being somebody that's famous. And I think a lot of people don't realize that until they hit that level of fame and realize that what they've been chasing this whole time is actually ruining their life. Number one of the worst things about fame is lack of privacy. And you might say that you don't care about that, but if you're somebody that is mad when something gets on Facebook or something goes across Instagram or something's on TikTok and it's your personal business and your family's talking about it and your friends are talking about it and the school is talking about it and people at your job are talking about it and you just can't stand that, fame is not for you. You got to have really tough skin to allow people into every single aspect of your life and still be comfortable. If you look at somebody super famous like Beyonce, Kanye West, they can't go to the store without the paparazzi being on them. If you go to the store at 2 a.m. with your bonnet on to go get some backwoods, or you go in there with a fucking stain on your white t-shirt, you're wearing some beat up shoes or some flip-flops and some shorts and your beater, paparazzi's gonna get you. You're gonna start seeing these different angles of yourself. You're not in the best mood. It's 3 a.m. You don't want to be bothered. Then again, fame is not going to be for you. We see all the scrutiny Kanye West got for his beef with the paparazzi. These people have no respect. They just want to get a picture, to put it on a tabloid, to put it on a blog, to blast you. It's an easy argument to make that the paparazzi is not really a fan of you. I could see signing autographs for fans even when it's inconvenient, but the paparazzi is really in it for their own personal gain. Number 3, nobody's going to know you for who you truly are. They're only going to see you from your public image, from your public persona. Then you have this lack of identity, or this idea that nobody really understands the true you, your true self. And that drives some people mad. That drives some people insane. And that's when you got them doing all this demonic stuff. Imagine you're doing all this demonic stuff and that's not really what you believe, and you're just on a promo run because that's what the label wants, and you got to sell some records. Then everyone's looking at you as this devil worshiper, which really they should, because if you're doing shit like that, really you've already compromised your morals and you're a sellout. But at the end of the day, you got to live with that. You got to try to sleep at night, and it's not going to be easy. Number 4, the pressure and expectations. Everybody's going to have different levels of expectations for you. I don't care if you work at the fucking supermarket and you're a fucking cart pusher, you have some kind of expectations. If you're the manager of that supermarket, you're going to have higher expectations. But on a whole nother level, when you're famous and the whole world is watching you, they're watching all your ups and all your downs, and you're in your last year's record sales, they're going to expect you to top that. The moment you don't top that, or at least even maintain that, they're going to say you fell off. And from there, you're constantly chasing the drug that we call clout. Because like I said, no matter how long you're in it, it is a temporary thing. Fame is not permanent. It's not a real thing. It's the idea that you're on top. Number 5 would be the criticism. I know I read the comments, but to a certain extent. Like, I feed into the comments if it's good dialogue. I'm willing to have dialogue with somebody because I don't need Clout the podcast. We're here to help. We're here to entertain. We're here to talk about topics. We're here to say things that you might not be comfortable saying, but fuck it, I'm going to say it anyway. So some people agree, some people disagree. I don't argue with nobody, because you're allowed to have another opinion, because that's what we stand for. I like that you have an opposing opinion. I'm not necessarily trying to change your mind, but I'm just giving you a glimpse that there is another opinion on the other side. Doesn't mean this person's right. Doesn't mean that person's wrong. Doesn't mean I'm right. I'm definitely not always right, but I'm just giving it to you how it is. But you got to really have tough skin to be in those comments and see what people say. They will talk about your mom. They will talk about your kids. They will talk about your spouse. They will have you doubting yourself, doubting your relationships. Imagine you're friends with somebody who's being attacked in the media, and you don't feel that way because you have more of an idea of who that person truly is, maybe their true intentions. But if you voice that, you're going to be banned, you're going to be blackballed, et cetera, et cetera. And that's just the price of fame. That's what happens when you're in the spotlight and you have an opinion. Number 6 would be losing genuine relationships. When you're famous, everybody wants to get next to you. When you're on top of the world, everybody wants to be your friend. When you win, everybody wants to be a part of that win. But when you finally lose, I guarantee you'll be by yourself. It's going to be extremely hard to find genuine relationships, whether that's friendships, whether you're looking for a spouse. You're not going to have the best idea of who's really in it for you, because they like you as a person and who they know you to be and your true genuine self, but they're going to be in it for their own personal gain 9 times out of 10. And along those same lines, number 7 is going to be trust. You already can't trust people in the streets. It's already hard to trust the average person. People's morals have succumbed to be so low. They backstab their own family. They backstab their brothers and their sisters and their cousins and their day one friends from elementary school. They might do it for money. They might do it for women. They might do it over men, relationships. People will backstab you for damn near anything. People might just be overly sensitive to things and feel like you're stabbing them in the back just because they don't really have that perspective. But when you're famous, it's multiplied by 100. You're really not going to be able to trust anybody. And that's why I think famous people link up too, because they're really the only ones that can understand the limelight like that and kind of what that other person is going through from a realistic perspective. Number 8, I think we're on number 8, fuck it. Number 8 would be the limits of your freedom. When you're under a contract, especially a music contract, they own your name, they own your face, they own anything that might be in your image. And these contracts are vicious. If you don't know how to read contracts, you don't have a manager or a lawyer that goes through these contracts with you, if you're just signing on the dotted line because you see the numbers for the check, you're fucked. I guarantee it. Because people that write up contracts always, 100% of the time, write it for their best interest, not for yours. You ever sign a motherfucking lease for your apartment? Nowhere in that lease does anything benefit you. It's mostly for liability. It's mostly so that your landlord gets what they want out of the situation. Nothing about that is for you or your best interest. And a music contract is no different. I'm sure acting contracts, any type of entertainment deal is going to be for the interest of the other party that's presenting the contract. You're not going to be able to say what you want. You're not going to be able to do what you want. If you're an artist, you're not going to be able to drop music when you want. The one thing that does get me, though, is like when an artist is making $0 a year off of their own content and a record label builds them up, which doesn't happen as much nowadays. They're looking for people with big followings already, but back in the day, at least, they will build you up to be a superstar. And then there's this sense of entitlement just because you're the one doing the groundwork. It's like, bro, the record label made you. Yeah, the music is hot. Yeah, we might love you as fans, but you wouldn't be here without the label. So when people start complaining about their label and saying they're getting fucked over, no, this is exactly what you signed up for. Your dumbass should have read the contract, which brings me to my next point is manipulation. These people that want to use you, they're going to tell you everything. They're going to tell you all the positives. Nobody's going to highlight any of the negatives that you're going to deal with. You're going to be taken advantage of. You're going to be used until they can't use you anymore. And lastly, I would say the biggest thing out of all those negatives is just going to be your mental health. Dealing with all of those things as a whole is going to really take a toll on your mental health. The pressure, the anxiety, depression, obligations, expectations, substance abuse. They always will get you as much weed as you want, as much coke as you want, any type of drugs that you want. Look at Michael Jackson, man. I'm not saying he didn't have issues. Obviously, I'm sure he had issues like many people have issues. But then you got doctors who are going to prescribe you anything you want because it's Michael Jackson. Doesn't matter if it's in your best interest or if it's really what your health situation calls for. They're going to just write the prescription and call it a day. And if there was a doctor that said no, Michael Jackson would just go to a new doctor or insert whatever celebrity you want. I'm just saying. Rest in peace, Michael Jackson, though. But yeah, man, I just wanted to promote that. Make sure your goal outcome isn't fame. Fame is not a tangible thing. If you want a certain amount of money, I would try to visualize why you want that money. Whether you want the house, the cars, the women, clothes, everything you never had before. You want to put your family onto a better life. You want to take vacations. You want to have different experiences. Those are real tangible goals. Those are real things that you could accomplish. Fame is just the idea that people know you, and that really doesn't translate to anything. You're going to have to do a lot of work. You're going to be somebody's bitch. You're going to be taken advantage of. You're going to be in contracts and deals that you don't want to do. And ultimately, it's going to lead to you not being passionate about what you once were most passionate about. It's going to kill your creativity. You're not going to want to do music. You're not going to want to be an actor anymore. Or again, just insert the career of your choice. You'd never want to sell out just so that people know you, because that really doesn't translate to anything positive. So yeah, man, set your goals accordingly. Make sure it aligns with you and your personal beliefs and what you're willing to do and willing not to do. Make sure you're not signing yourself up for destruction. Chasing fame will definitely lead you down that path. This is I Don't Need Clout, the podcast, episode 9, Mace Blanco on 610 from G's to Millions. I appreciate y'all listening. I'll see you next time.